Welcome to Faith and Sustainability, a podcast where we look deeper into how our faith traditions inspire us to care for our common home. I'm your host, Leonard Robinson.
And I'm your co-host, Kat Doyle. Just want to remind everybody that our podcast is made possible from the generous support of Jamie Lanier, the Varlamov Family Foundation, Georgia Interfaith Power and Light, St. Francis Services, and Semco Atlanta. So, Leonard, who do we have today?
Before I introduce the guest, there's a scripture that goes, faith without works is dead. And it can be translated, in other versions. So I found an entity called Imani Green that's going to tell us how they put their faith into action. And we have Jalynn Webb. She is project manager for Imani Green Imani Health, Imani Village. Welcome to Faith and Sustainability, Jalynn.
Hello. Thank you all for having me on. I'm truly delighted to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yes. My name is Jalynn Webb, and I'm the program leader for one of the many programs out of Imani Village. I am the program leader for Imani Green Health Advocates. This is a program which partners with the Nature Conservancy and a health institution by the name of Advocate Health Group, amongst other partners, to highlight the intersectionality between community health and the health of the environment with the priority of the communities on the far south side of Chicago.
That is a mouthful. That is a lot. So I want you to back up. Can you explain what this village concept is?
As you already heard from Leonard, we have the wonderful program called Imani Green Works. Imani Village is essentially this beacon in which we try to provide resources for the community. And so Imani Village is the institution and the building by which we operate, but Imani Green Works is the legs and the arms and the hands that move and mobilize themselves and our resources into the community.
Perfect. So you are truly integrated into the community, both in the community and around, and bringing it all together. Yes.
Okay, tell us how Imani Green Works got started.
The idea had initially started with the concept of a circular economy under our previous pastor, Reverend Wright, and then it transitioned into this actionable mission under our current pastor, Reverend Otis Moss III. This ideology was the idea of a sustainable community, and this was by any greens necessary.
I love
it. I like that.
Thank you. Our origins come from the understanding that on the far south side of Chicago, we are currently suffering from the effects of economic, physical, and spiritual neglect. As a result of that, we have been called as faithful stewards of this God-created green earth to live a life of love and justice. In order to do that, we must meet the needs of our community. And so we have been able to prioritize 4 different challenges facing said community, which include economic justice, ecological justice, mass incarceration, and health equity. As a result, we've been embarked to create this project called Imani Village, and under that, the Imani Green Works.
What's the name of the church?
Trinity United Church of Christ. We call ourselves the best church on this side of the Jordan. And so we are proud to go ahead and boast our wonderful community that continues to uplift and support us.
You got it started through the church. The Department of Energy really touts your program. Tell me about your partners and how the Department of Energy helped you out.
As we've said, we're well integrated into the community. And so one of the projects we are currently spearheading and partner with the London Townhomes is creating this sustainable and energy efficient housing. And so we've partnered with the Department of Energy, the Illinois Department of Commerce, in addition to a energy company, which I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with, but ComEd, to go ahead and provide grant funding to create these projects in which they're coming in and providing more sustainable, energy efficient practices into their homes in that housing community.
That's the whole concept of green everything, touching all aspects of this. But I want to ask maybe a little bit of a different question. That is, you talked about the work you did with the Department of Energy, so government, non-government, and NGOs, all this sort of thing. But you're coming at this from a faith standpoint. So can you tell me, how did you get to that intersection of faith and this work with the Department of Energy and other partners in the community?
That's something that makes us so uniquely different, is because when working with these big government organizations, and so they have the grant funding to provide us with the resources. And so we see ourselves as a conduit or a beacon in between, is showing these provided government funding, provided resources, and then providing it as a connection to the community. And so since we are serving the communities out of Pullman, Washington Heights, Chatham, just to name a few, we seek to go ahead and not only provide the resources, but talk to the community about what would be best for them to receive as terms of what resources they need. And so that relationship looks like us going ahead and saying, we know our community needs a lot of things, and we want to go ahead and partner with the community to provide them. And so that relationship has us working with these bigger national organizations, like the program that I'm serving, working with the Nature Conservancy, to provide it at a very local level, this funding at a local level to local residents on the literally outside of the four walls of our community, and helping these residents receive these resources that we know they need. And we look at it as a holistic healing. So we understand that it's one thing to go ahead and prescribe a medication, or go ahead and tell people that you need to go ahead and get this done, and this done. But it's another to have this partnership, and where we're working alongside our community, working alongside our residents to provide them with this holistic healing.
So when you talk about holistic, there's a faith-based part to that. Tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you get here, and where did your faith play a part in this?
It's funny that this circle, I call it truly God's plan, because my faith journey actually led me into this current position. I go by the quote that I got this because God got me. That literally has been the carrying factor to continue to motivate me to be the woman of faith that I am. Some of that literally had me starting out as a young Girl Scout, as a member of Trinity United Church of Christ, and creating these recycle bins for the church, and from there being motivated and called to do greater. And as a result, I've been able to do that in my personal career with taking photos and loving the natural environment and loving the work that God creates. I call it his artwork. And then stemming that into my professional setting, where I've now been able to do environmental education for young adults and youth in the community.
One of the great things about having you with us today is that we started this podcast around our Catholic faith and what our Catholic faith calls us, but the reminder that all of us share a common home. So we all have a responsibility to care for that common home. And we're delighted that we had the opportunity to really look at how another faith tradition is addressing and doing the same things we're called to do.
At what point in your life did you get to the intersection of faith and sustainability? A lot of us treat it as two separate things. When did you make that intersection?
I made that intersection when I had started out looking at what professional careers are out there. And that's a conversation that I'm sure we've all had as young adults, is what can I do professionally? And they say, choose where your passion leads and choose where your heart guides you. And in those times of questioning whether or not I should go into a political realm or working at a non-government level for a non-for-profit, such as the one I'm working with at Imani Village, I had those moments where you just have to reflect. And one of those moments in which I feel closest to God is being out in nature. As a result of that, I feel calm and a peace of serenity when having the breeze and the trees rustle and feeling the sunlight on my face. It feels like a true connection to the wonderful God that we serve. And so as a result of that, it was like a light bulb moment in my head where I said, this is what I'm going to be fighting for. As we know, there's trying times with the climate change going on. And so I said, I want to preserve this not only for myself, for the future of people coming after me, for the children coming after me. And that mission has called me to go ahead and continue on this environmental and sustainable practice. It's truly something that God gave us as a free luxury, a free gift to receive. And it is our duty as stewards of this wonderful green earth to continue to preserve it.
So for many of us, the sustainability journey started with the Scouts and church and that call to do that. So a lot of us have been there. What is your message to young people today, besides just looking at a green career path? What about just sustainability in general? Is there a message or a call to action for young people?
I would say, and I continue to repeat this quote by any greens necessary. A lot of people think when you have to get involved in the green movement, it looks like you going ahead and getting out there with your sign and petitioning, or it looks like you going out there and protesting, or it looks like you out there hugging a tree. These steps do not have to be for everyone. If that is your calling, then I empower you to do so. But for the people who are starting out as a beginner into this journey, I would encourage you to look at it with a green lens. And so that means literally looking at the current stances in which you're doing and the way you operate and adjusting them, not doing a complete 180 because that is hard. I know we all have our New Year's resolutions coming around, and so that will be trying. But I would recommend and doing the small steps. And so that includes going ahead and maybe turning off the water when you're brushing your teeth, finding those simple slight changes to go ahead and create something that's a little bit more green. And you probably are doing some of those now and you just don't know. And so those small steps make a great change for our environment.
I love your thing at looking at life through a green lens. I am going to borrow that one, and as well as by any greens necessary.
As we look into the green tea leaves, where do you see the future of Imani Village and Imani Health Advocates and Imani Green Works? Where are you going to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
We are actually in the process right now of creating a affordable housing unit. And so part of that, we have so many different projects that we're currently on the way with, which include a green garden. And so we're hoping to go ahead and have that in the works as well. This is nature play. So we understand that adults are one thing to go ahead and push forward an agenda, but we need the future generations to be active in that. And that literal simple connection can start as soon as them playing outside and being happy to be outside in that natural environment. So we're trying to create things like a green garden where people from the community can come in and learn about how to do sustainable green gardening and also be active participants in that. We understand that that's a very big thing, is to have active participation from the community. So we're trying to get people from the young kids all the way up to the older folks to be happy about being outside and being involved in nature. And so any ways in which we can see that happening is what we're excited to do.
So you're on the south side of Chicago, correct?
Yes.
So how would we do something like this on the south side of Atlanta? How is this something that is replicable? Is there some way we could start something like this here locally?
I would say yes. It's most definitely possible to start something like this locally. The first step is literally going outside of the building and asking community members and opening up a forum in which you talk and discuss with community members about what they're interested in and what concerns they currently have. From there, building something in which the community members have had their voice heard, but then are active participants in the process thereafter. And so that gets you with high numbers of people being very excited about what's going on, to where they share it with their friends and family to have this become a larger initiative.
And did you start this with multiple faith traditions? So have you encouraged the different faith traditions to work through an interfaith network or an ecumenical network?
Yes, we have. We currently partner with different organizations such as Faith in Place. Faith in Place is a non-denominational organization in which they encourage people of all faiths to be involved in the natural environment. And so we understand that this is this wonderful earth that we serve is too huge for one person, one church, one organization to solve. And so we encourage anybody from any walk of life to come and join us on this wonderful journey and this wonderful mission that we're currently seeking to go ahead and provide for our community and any community that looks just like ours.
Where can people get more information?
You can find our website, imanivillage.com. As simple as that. That's imanivillage.com to learn about the wonderful work that we are doing. And if you have any inquiries, you can share it on the website as well. In addition to that, if you would like to follow along on what's going on with the program that I'm leading, Imani Green Health Advocates, you can follow our Instagram at imanigreen.health. ADV. Again, that's imanigreen.health.av. And if you have any personal inquiries to reach out to me directly, you can email me at imanivillagepl@outlook.com. Again, that's imanivillagepl@outlook.com.
And tell us the meaning of Imani.
Imani means faith. And so that's why we call it a faith village. This is a village where people, regardless of what's going on, socioeconomic, can come and gather of faith to be able to serve this wonderful earth.
So Imani Green Works, Faith Green Works, what an amazing title or name for an organization. I love that. I have one last question before we wrap up today. Can you talk a little bit about the part spirituality plays in this work that you do?
Personally, for me, in terms of spirituality and the work that we currently do, we understand that during this trying time of where the world continues to change and evolve, we understand that a lot of people may feel overwhelmed by the current situations, both personal and the world at large. And so during this time, we also ask people to continue to rely on their faith. And that conversation or that connection that you feel with God is different for each and every person, whether you're going to church, whether you're continuing to do your daily devotions, whether you're citing scriptures or not, that conversation could look different. And so we encourage people to go ahead and seek that faith journey in whatever form that looks like, whether that's simply asking a friend, can you pray for me? And so during those trying times of where the world feels like a lot, and so we have people rely on their faith a little bit more. And also the community that faith creates. And so that's the community that we've been able to create in Imani Village.
Well, this is excellent. Thank you so much, taking time out of what I know is a busy schedule. This is truly circular. Imani Green Works, Imani means faith. We're faith and sustainability. And I have a granddaughter named Imani. So this is the perfect circle. Thank you so much. And continue to do your great work by any greens necessary. I like that one.
I love it. Is there any particular story or inspirational thought that you have before we wrap up today?
Through the works in which we've been able to do even this year, reaching out and requesting 300 plus trees for the far south side of Chicago, which is an area in which heat island effects take over, interacting with 600 plus residents. And so you can imagine the different walks of life we've been able to meet with. And so one of those stories I would like to share is from an interaction that we had previously working with Joy's Garden. This is a garden that's in the community where community members, young adults and youth of all ages are involved in planting the trees and working a part of this process. We were delighted to be able to see how excited youth are to be a part of it, to feel like they're having an integral part in not only their community, but in the natural environment. It's just something about working with dirt that makes you feel grounded. And I don't mean that in a pun type of way, but it's truly something that just makes you feel grounded into the earth and the natural environment. And so seeing the delight on their faces, the smiles, the joy in which they've had, and that's why she calls it Joys. She has it as Unity Garden. So it's actually come unity garden. So it's come in the unity of a garden and the natural space that it creates. And so working with any of the youth that we've been able to throughout this program, it's just, I have to share the delights that people have and the smiles in their face and the happy moments that they're able to see. So it's been a delight to be able to be involved throughout this program working with the Imani Village. And so that's just a tidbit of I'll give you a small section of the stories, but I don't want to with the rest of them, though it'd be very exciting to go ahead and share with you all some more in some later date.
Well, yes, we're going to have to do part 2. So again, thank you for coming on to Faith and Sustainability. And to our listeners, stay connected with us on social media and share your journey with the hashtag Faith and Sustainability.
And whatever you do, don't forget to like us and to subscribe to the podcast. We'll look forward to meeting you next time
at the intersection of faith and sustainability.
The preceding podcast is a production of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Atlanta. Copyright 2025.